It's all about the classics this week. Drop tops, hard tops, coupes, we've squeezed it all in. Buckle up, because this is eNCA Drive. The Porsche 356C was famed for its powerful engine. Looking a lot like a souped-up Volkswagen Beetle, it stole many hearts back then and continues to do so now. eNCA Drive's Nqobile Madlala spent some time with a Porsche collector.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
I'm told there's not many of them on the streets these days, but this beauty here is a 1964 Porsche. It is a classic car. It's a 356C. And I want you to just look at it inside. It's just gorgeous. The way the cream and the red just blends in. The car itself still feels a lot more raw and a lot more intact with what it was in the beginning when it was first bought. A lot more space in your feet there. Very nice. At the back, also not so much space, but definitely just gorgeous, breathtaking, everything you can dream of. But of course, something that we are looking at as a reality.
Breathtaking, to be exact. The vintage interior has been restored to its original colors. The red leather and the red carpet complements the cream finish on the dashboard. Tony Vaughan, a collector, says the Porsche was his first love.
When I first saw one of these cars, I was a boarder, and I saw the car when I was 9 years old. And the car was one of the cars were given to me for my 50th birthday. So it's been in the family since, and then I married to the guy's daughter. So we've been involved with the Porsche fraternity since the 1960s.
And how many cars do you have?
I have three special ones. This is two like this, the 356s, a 1960 model, the 1964 like this, and I've got a 1968, the first of the 911s.
Based on the design of the Volkswagen Beetle, the 365C, when it was launched, had the most powerful engine Porsche had ever produced. In the 60s, the compact style of cars was popular, and Porsche sold more than 14,000 of the 365C in the 1964 alone. Many years later, collectors are still enjoying driving it.
This is a 1600, not very fast, but great fun to drive.
When you say not very fast, are you like pushed by the wind?
Yeah, we're pushed by the wind. The brakes aren't great, and you've got to be careful when you drive them. It's old technology.
It's a right-hand drive manual car, and when you're behind the wheel, you sit really low and feel every bump in the road. This low design is typical of sports cars. Then there's the air-cooled flat engine, which is loved by Porsche fanatics. The technology was first used in the Beetle, and being light, it makes for a sportier drive. The engine is in the back of the car, improving traction. Tony Vaughan says he works on his own car.
Well, luckily I'm practical, so I'm mechanical. I do a lot of the work myself. Special editing job like body work I send away to people I've known for years. All the mechanical, brakes, clutches I can do myself. And it's just a matter of experience, and if you do come to a situation where you need expertise, there are a few expertise that's still involved in these sort of cars.
And what, in your experience, how has it been like to do all that work? Is this emotional? Are you attached?
They're incredibly reliable cars. They don't break down. If just something happens, it's very easy to fix. Not like the modern ones with computers and everything. Here it's very basic systems. But it's a challenge to keep them going. The maintenance is high on them, but generally they're very reliable.
And yet you still want to keep it for many, many years.
Yeah, these cars are part of the family.
And they have received worldwide attention.
I think we had about 2 overseas articles done on these cars, 2 of them together. And they again, unique. because a unique part of it, these cars have been in the family since 1961.
And it's coming from your dad?
Comes from my father-in-law, yeah.
And was he also very passionate?
Absolutely passionate about
Tell me
them.
a bit about him. What
He was a
GP,
a doctor, a GP in Joburg, very well known. Used to visit his clients every day in these cars, drove them every day of his life, and absolutely passionate about it.
I guess this is the kind of car you don't look at the mileage anymore.
No mileages, and they've got a lot of history behind them, which a lot of people like. We've got the original service books. We've got everything that came with them. And funny enough, we got married in the 1961.
What? And how is that? I'm sure it was a show off.
We just needed a car to leave the wedding with us, so we took the 1960.
The 365C is a real head turner.
That's the problem with driving them. Everybody wants to sit in them, and they want to go get into them, and they want to drive in them. So you've got to be very careful, because they're becoming valuable cars. And I think of these 356s, I think there's not more than 80 left in the country.
This beauty would go for around 1.5 million to the right buyer. And for admirers, there's always a selfie. Nqobile Madlala, Johannesburg.